What's going on, everyone? This is Tom doing another toy ramble, and today I have gotten my hands on the Beast Lab Panther Battle Titan. I've been kind of interested in this. I've seen pictures of this pop up on websites and whatnot. I've been collecting the hybrid series, so that's been kind of fun. I have not liked a lot of the earlier offerings, but the hybrid lab series was pretty good. And when I started seeing pictures of these, I was kind of curious because it looks like these are, don't have that proportional weirdness that the other stuff had going on. So I am kind of curious about it. Will you find the legendary titanium Panther? I think it's stupid to do blind box for figures that are of this size and commanding the price point that these have been going for. If you have a Ross, almost like a TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls, it's kind of one of those stores. If you have one of those near you, I recommend going in and looking around because some of the Beast Lab stuff has been showing up there. That's where I got this because I didn't want to pay full price for this, honestly. But if you check out your Ross, they might actually have these. That's where I got this from for a much reduced price. So for that amount, I figured it was worth taking a look at this and seeing what we've got going on. So that way, if I wind up with the legendary titanium Panther figure, then fine. And if not, then I was kind of interested in the blue version anyway. So let's see what we've got here. What's going on in here? All right, looks like I got the blue one, which is fine. It's kind of funny to me that this is the quote-unquote Panther robot, and you'd think it would be mostly black. Just saying. Kind of weird. All right, so this is our Beast Lab Panther figure. Right off the bat, looks kind of interesting in the package. Not bad packaging. Pretty straight and to the point. That's fine. Artwork is pretty nice. And you don't get to see any other characters in this line, but that's not too bad. Alrighty, let's see what we got. Oh, a little diagram there so you see what goes where. Not too bad. So let's get you out of here, Mr. Panther Titan robot. I do kind of like that he's packaged in this kind of pose. That's kind of weird. No plastic ties. And there we have him. The Titan Panther is free to run around and do the things that a Titan Panther would do. What those things are, I'm not quite sure. Although, spoilers, fast forward 30 seconds for spoilers about the Mr. Beast Lab show. Something similar to this, or maybe it is actually these things that do appear in the animated mini series that is online. So if you want to see what these things are meant to do within the Beast continuity, go check that out and you'll be able to see. So this is pretty interesting. Just the initial sculpt on this is actually really good. I like the detailing in all of the mechanical bits. The whole thing is it's a giant robot. This seems very inspired by Pacific Rim. Just in its proportions, in the way that you have some parts that are fully covered by kind of a smooth outer shell, but then you could still see a lot of the outside of the pistons and a lot of mechanical wirings that really should be covered. This was my issue with a lot of the movie Transformer issues, that it just looked like they were disease-ridden and missing a lot of their flesh, covering their innards, so you could see what was inside there. But this is actually not bad. This is I feel like a decent mixture of the two. So you've got some parts that are fully built out, and then you've got, you can get in there and see a lot of the detailing for, say, like the neck area, the shoulder joint, even the forearms. Like, this is a lot of exposed wiring and mechanics. So if you're in the middle of a fight, maybe you want to cover this up. But overall, just as a general design, it's actually not too bad. I like that they were able to preserve the kind of a hint of the digigrade legs that a cat would have, since this is the quote-unquote Panther Titan. So he is pretty interesting. And I do like that we keep the kind of a cat face. It's got a little bit of a feline look to it. And of course you have the telltale lightning bolt for the main beast character. Oh, actually, I also kind of like the clear, a little bit of the clear symbol on the chest there. That's kind of cool. I'd actually like to see a little bit more of this. Not enough to make it look gaudy, but maybe this in a couple of more strategic places to show off where maybe like the unit's powering up. Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about with the kind of look to Pacific Rim. The way that this is sectioned and looks like the covering to a spine. That was very much, kind of the Gypsy Danger kind of look. But it's executed well. I'm a little surprised that there is not a tail, but then the other Beast Lab characters don't have tails. So if nothing else, it is consistent. So the Panther Titan comes with a couple of extra hands, which is pretty nice. I like the outstretched hand. That's pretty good. A little bit of an extra holding fist hand. You also have a couple of pieces of shoulder armor. Let's see if we can get those on there. Looks like these just lock right on. Clip on there. There we go. And you'll hear the sound. You'll hear them lock on. They kind of look like unicorn heads, and I don't know if that's on purpose. Maximized with his shoulder armor. He also seems to come with a pair of forearm gauntlets with a little bit of an energy effect. So that's kind of cool. And you can clip those. It doesn't look like these are specific to either arm, so you can probably swap these to whichever arm you prefer that they sit on. Yeah, they seem to kind of grip right on. There doesn't appear to be a specific bend to these to keep them on a specific arm. So you can swap them out depending on what you prefer. Yeah, I do like that. The plastic feels pretty good. I like the quality of this. The joints feel pretty steady. The jointing for the legs is a little weird. Those hip joints are they're a little out there. I feel like this could be pulled in just a little tighter. But I'm not sure if you could get that range of motion then. So maybe that's why they did it the way that they did it. And he comes with a pretty cool looking power sword. So you can stick that in this hand. Or if you swap out his other right hand, he can be holding either or. And these hands, the plastic for these hands is pretty good. It's got enough hold to it that it kind of locks back into place once you open them back up, but they are not hard enough where it's a pain to open them up to put the weapon in. So that is very much appreciated. I know there are some toy lines where that is a little bit rough and the hands are very stiff, so it's hard to get them into the position that you want, especially if you're trying to arm them with a weapon of some kind. So he looks pretty good. I do like the posing him is pretty easy. He's got a pretty. I was worried about the base for a moment because while the feet are a pretty decent sized claw, there's kind of a lot going on back here, and that could cause a figure to be a little bit back heavy and to tip and not be able to hold their pose very well. But he seems to have no issue standing, which is very appreciated. And depending on what your gimmick is or what you have going on, I could see that being an issue. But he does not seem to have any of those issues. And you've got your claw hands in case you want to have him coming at you with some claws. So the Panther Titan stands at little under 6 inches. It's about 5 3/4. Now let's take a look at that articulation, because he's got more than I was expecting, honestly. So starting with the head, he's got some. Can't tell if this is on a ball joint. Nope, it looks like it's on a little bit of a hinge underneath here. So you've got a hinge joint, so you can go left to right. He's got some pretty good range of motion going up and down. So that's pretty good. If you were to put him in a pose where he should be flying, that's actually not too bad. So he can't look completely up, but enough where, were he in a flying pose, that would be believable. He does not have a butterfly joint, but the hinge at the shoulder gives him a pretty decent range of motion. You are going to have to contend with the shoulder, the shoulder armor kind of popping off depending on what you have going on there. What's holding it on is just friction. So it's got a little bit of a divot, but if you're moving his arm completely up for a full range, this may take flight. So it also has a twist at the upper bicep, which is nice. It does have... Oh wait, is that a double? That is not a double hinge. It tricked me. This looks like it actually bends. It is not. It's just sculpting detail. So he does not have a double elbow that I suspected. Single hinge for the elbow, but that still gives you a pretty decent amount of motion there. And a swivel plus the hinge at the wrist. A decent amount of crunch in the ab there. That's not too bad. So you can go pretty decent amount back. Moving forward to crunch forward there. No twist at the waist, and because of the design, I'm not too surprised with this kind of, the way this dips in. If you were to add like a ball socket or something, it would look kind of goofy. The hip joints, which is what I was a little bit confused about here, these stick out a pretty decent amount from the body, but I think they may have been doing that so that you could get this motion here. They probably wanted to leave enough clearance for this ball socket to be able to lift the leg up, which is pretty nice. So he can get into that pose. Now, can he hold it? I wonder, can he hold that 1 foot pose that so many collectors use as a measuring stick for how good? Hey, that's not bad. It's got some pretty decent balance, and that's a testament to the tolerances on the joints. Not too much wobble going on there. Going down to the knee. It is a single hinge, but there is rotation in the knee joint here, so you can kind of twist that around, which is pretty nice. There is also a thigh cut, or there is a kind of a thigh swivel here, so that is pretty cool. And also the swivel at the knee plus the hinge for motion. Based on the sculpting, you would think that this would have some kind of motion to it, but there is none. It's all just sculpting. There is no kind of piston action going on back here. But there is a full hinge on the ankle here, and it has some pivot, so you've got pretty good range depending on the pose you want to put him in, which is very nice. So this guy is impressing me. Let's put him next to some of his other Beast Lab buddies. I don't remember his name. And the fire version of the Panther. Now, with all of these different versions of this character that exists, you almost kind of wonder how many different repaints you can also get out of this Panther Titan. Because I don't really expect all that much to be different on him. He just looks kind of neat to exist in multiple color schemes and maybe multiple different gimmicks. Yeah, it'd be glow in the dark would be kind of cool. Just a simple black with some maybe like white highlights would be really neat, or with some pink highlights, because the pink seems to be an ongoing thing with the character. Let's see how he would compare to Siege Megatron. Megatron's not quite sure what he's looking at here. That's not bad. And you know what? The aesthetic, not too bad. I could see this kind of fitting in with your Transformers display, depending on who you have him hanging out with. Like hanging out with Optimus Prime, who also isn't quite sure what to make of this. And just because I thought it'd be fun, let's contrast him with the Masters of the Universe Classics Blast Attack fellow robot. So, at the end of the day, I would say that the Beast Lab Platinum Series Panther Titan is a pretty decent figure. He does a lot more than I thought he was going to. The articulation is good. The sculpting is really solid. I like the way they incorporated some of the clear plastic into this figure. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more, but I think this is a pretty decent balance. I like the detailing on the face. I like that they keep the kind of the robotic animal look to him with the implication of the digigrade legs, the claws for the feet, the hands, and even kind of the feline aspects of the face. I think this is it's a nice modern looking robot. It's not too overly detailed. There's not too much greeble going on, but you can look at it and really appreciate some of the detailing in the mechanical parts of him. I think that he'd be a good part of your collection. Pick him up if you can find him for cheap. I hope that you have enjoyed this review of the Beast Lab Battle Titan Panther. If you have, please leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel, tell your buddies, tell your friends, and let me know, do you plan on getting the Battle Titan Panther, or are you hoping to get the platinum version of this figure? And if you already have him, what do you think of him? Do you like him? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, take care.